Hey, Life Groups, welcome back as we continue in our Denied series. And I want to ask you a question. What if the most powerful thing that you did this week, no one ever knew about? No post, no mention, no credit, no recognition, just you and God. That's the discipline that we explored this past weekend in our series, and one that's probably the most countercultural one yet, and it's called secrecy. Now, before you start to worry, we're not going to be talking about hiding sin or keeping dark secrets. We're talking about something Jesus taught directly in the Sermon on the Mount. And in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus looks at his followers and says, be careful that your good deeds don't become a performance. Jesus wasn't condemning generosity, he was diagnosing a heart problem, the human tendency to take something holy and turn it into something that is self-serving. The Pharisees in Jesus' day were experts at visible religion, right? They gave, they prayed, they fasted, but they did it all in the public eye to soak up all the admiration of others, to soak up all the recognition. They were sponges. But Jesus calls us to be mirrors, to reflect all the glory back to God instead of absorbing it for ourselves. And so if our motive is praise for others, Jesus says it plainly that that's your reward that you're going to get. But if we give quietly, we give humbly, and without all the fanfare, Jesus sees it and God honors it and God rewards it. Here's something important that Jesus said in verse 2. He doesn't say if you give, he says when you give. Generosity is not optional for followers of Jesus. It's assumed, it's expected, it's built into the identity of what it means to be a child of God. And if we think about it, right, a baseball player without a glove, a doctor without medical equipment, a mechanic with no tools, it seems unthinkable. And a Christian who doesn't give is just as out of place. Because generosity flows from gratitude, right? God forgave me, I forgive others. God provided for me, I will help provide for others. God was generous with me, therefore I am generous with others. So what does Jesus actually tell us to do? It says, be so discreet, so humble in your giving that you'll almost forget what you did. Right? Give and move on. Don't replay it. Don't hint at it. Don't post it because God saw it and that is enough. And remember, generosity isn't just money, right? It can be your time. It can be your talent. It can be a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, checking in on someone and showing up when no one is watching. Right? The world says do good and make sure everyone knows about it. And Jesus says do good and let your Father in heaven be the audience. Not a reluctant giver, not a look at me kind of giver, but a cheerful giver and someone who gives out of love and of grace that they've already experienced. So this week, maybe it's our responsibility to find someone that we can be secretly generous towards. No announcement, no credit, no posts, just you, your gift, and the God who sees everything that is done in secret. Enjoy your discussion today.